Thank you for tuning in. Today, we have an interview with the brother directing duo of Esham and Ian Nelms. Watch as we discuss their new film, Red Right Hand, starring Orlando Bloom. Red Right Hand opens in theaters and arrives on VOD on February 23.
Kelly,
Hi, how are y'all?
we are excellent. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
I like this red brick wall. Where is
nice
this in your
statement.
place?
This is my kitchen.
Dude, I love that. It's effective.
Thank
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of red and black, so that's my theme.
A great combo.
But awesome. And speaking of things I love the movie. Red Right Hand. It's a great
thank
flick,
you.
y'all.
Oh,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. I know there's a ton of people that worked really, really hard to pull it off, so I know it
That
means a
means a
mountain to all of
ton.
us.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And just to start, the cinematography was incredible. It looks so good.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. So we'll have to give a lot of that credit to our DP. We've worked on 5 movies with Johnny Durango. The man is a magician of light and in camera. And man, we're so honored to be able to work with him for so long. He's become like a third Nelms brother at this point.
Yeah, it's really been really awesome to sort of, grow with him because, 5 movies together, obviously we constantly are trying to give different looks and feels, and he's stretching and we're stretching, and it's been a blast. Love that guy.
Yeah, 5 films is a lot. But he's talented. So
Yes, he really is.
We keep him around for a reason. We love the man.
Or he keeps us around.
Yeah, that might be better. He keeps us around.
and the story was so dark, but it's just that heart of it about family.
Mhm. And that was one of
And
the things.
so I'm sorry.
Sorry, I was just going to say that was in the script. When we read Jonathan Easley's script, that was really what gets you into the whole movie off the start, is that family dynamic. And if you can't buy into that, you're not going to go on the ride and go into those action sequences and really give much of a care. But man, he did such a great job of painting the portrait of that family and Cash's plight and Cash's with his niece. Like you really want to dive in there and you want to see these people make it.
Right. And he did fantastic as Cash. In fact, I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say that it's one of his best roles.
I love the way
Wow.
you're thinking here, Kelly.
I mean, should I get him on the phone?
Let's do it.
No, we were
Because he went such a dark place, but at the same time had that compassion, and you could just see it on his face. Like during the scenes with the cop and all, it was just, you could see his heart's breaking, but he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah. No, I think that's it. I think it's interesting, right? Orlando Bloom, can play a very dashing sort of but he's got this frenetic energy to him a lot of the time. Obviously the elf was a little more stoic, but he's got a kind of charisma that exudes. And for Cash, there is this nuance and subtlety to this man, right? There's a lot of restraint in that performance.
Yeah, he worked incredibly hard on the character and the performance. He spent months on the dialect. He spent weeks on building his exterior of the character once he landed in Kentucky and started really trying to paint a picture of himself as a local,
Yeah, once he would meet locals and they'll hang out with them and he'd be like, okay, I need to get my hair like this.
He'd be changing things the whole way. And then even the boots that he picked for his character really informed how he kind of strutted around, like how he was walking and moving and lumbering with his legs. But
yeah, they were like welder's boots, and they were like each foot was a boat anchor. And we were like,
heavy.
wow, this is amazing how this stride, every time Cash's foot hits the earth, it almost shakes.
Well, he was great. Now, the young lady that played Savannah,
Chapel Oaks, yeah.
she did great too. And I see so much of myself in her character that it's kind of scary. It kind of got under my skin.
Wow.
I love that. I love that. Where are you from, Kelly?
I'm from Georgia.
All right, yeah. That's where she's from, actually. I think she's out of Georgia. But yeah, we were so lucky to get her, honestly. There was a lot of name actors that were up for the role of that age. And she clawed that role away from everybody. She was really good.
She made it undeniably hers through the audition process.
We had a lot of great people and they all would have given a great version of Savannah, but she just really killed the performances on the auditions, and we just knew she was our girl.
And this is her first, feature film that she shot. She's had a couple pieces come out already since we've made this, but that beat us to the finish line. But yeah, no, this was her first feature film, and honestly, to have her step into that situation, right? To be sitting across from those heavy duty actors like Andy, like Scott, like Orlando, and just go toe to toe, right? It's just such an impressive thing for a young actor.
And there's something really fun that happens with her, I think, in that role, being, more unknown, is that you're not quite sure how big her role is going to be. You know what I mean? You're not quite sure if she's like, how far is this character going to go into this movie, and what catalyst is she going to be for this movie? Is she going to get killed, inspire everyone to whatever? You know what I mean? Like, you're not quite sure how she's going to play into this story. And I think it's a surprise and a lot of fun to see where she goes.
Yeah, and she was very natural, which was, something you always appreciate when it comes to films. How did y'all come across this movie, the script?
Yeah, so it was submitted to us through Thunder Road, who we worked with a couple times before. The producers, Zach and Jason from Traction, had the script, and it landed on our desk. And obviously, Jonathan Easley's script was such a joy to read. It was an absolute page turner. The characters and dialogue just leapt off the page for us, and really, that in our previous meeting with Orlando in 2017 after our film Small Town Crime. It really is what put the whole thing together for us, right? Because that, based on that meeting with Orlando and his appetite to do something outside the box from what we'd seen him do before, was a real intrigue for us in pairing him with the script.
Yeah, we instantly thought of him after we read it, and we were just like, we would totally do this if we could get Orlando to do this. Let's see if he's excited about it as we are. And then he read it, and thankfully he was pumped. So yeah, that coupling of the script being great and an actor we wanted to work with was interested in it. We were off and running.
I have to ask something. I have a sister, so I know how relationships work. How do you two work together on film without driving each other nuts?
Look, I think it comes, I think you either get the two dice rolls, right? You get like, I don't know how you can do that, or you get Ian and I, who over the course here of our last 20 years working together have become like dysfunctionally codependent. We just have always gotten along our entire lives. We've enjoyed the same movies. An ideal weekend for us when we were young was to go get a dozen donuts and 6 films, and that was Saturday and Sunday. It's been from the beginning. So I can't tell you the secret sauce. It just happened.
And I'm just sick to death of him, Kelly. I don't know what we're doing here. No, our tastes were synthesized really young. Like I was saying, we went off to college and in different states, and we're calling each other every other night, discussing things, talking about things. He's working on comic books. I'm working on writing plays and stories. And I was an English major. He was an art major. And yeah, we just, coming together that summer after school, like we just started working on projects together and getting really excited about working together, because we'd lived in a small town of about 3,500 people growing up. We lived on a 10-acre horse ranch, and it was either, get along or be really lonely. So we chose the path of least resistance.
Well, it's great that y'all have that kind of relationship. Me and my sister would have killed each other by now, but
I mean, look, it's not perfect, right? There's always going to be those friction points, but for 99.9% of the time, it's an absolute joy.
And we try to get all those frictions out during the writing process or the development process or the pre-production process, so that when we land on set, we're totally synced up. We know what we want to see. We know how we want it to feel. We know how we feel the characters should be portrayed, or at least leaning towards a way. And obviously, the actors bring the pain. So, we like to be synced up before we get out there.
So what's next?
We've got a couple things, but we've got a script. The most furthest along is a script we wrote called Minutemen. It's more in the vein of probably Small Town Crime, which was about 2 movies ago.
Yeah, it's a dark comedy thriller, So
yeah, it's we're really excited about it. And that one we've got financing, and we're starting to march forward on it. So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing it. And as somebody from a tiny town, I love both small town stuff and true crime, so it's a great combination.
We do too. It sucked us in for sure. That script, man.
We've got a real reverence for the small town community. We're from one. It's in our hearts and it runs through our veins. So thank you.
So what's it like to film in a small town?
It's great. I mean, look, there's a bit of skepticism when you first roll into town with the wagons and all the people, and there's a bit of like, oh, who is this? What do you guys want? Kind of thing, right? And then
people are living in a small town for a reason. Usually, it's because they're very private people. And when we're shooting around Kentucky, it's filled with small areas and small towns. you know, there's a lot of like, well, hey, what are you doing here? And then when they do recognize that you're not a threat or a nuisance, they're literally welcoming you in for lunch and dinner and beers and hanging out and let's talk about this. And I met my neighbor Jane. You know, once you ingratiate yourself in, and they realize you're
not trying to steal their leaf blower.
You're a human being.
You're good to go.
Yeah, you get ingratiated in, and they treat you like family. So.
Well, that's fantastic. And I have to say, the choice of Andy McDowell for Big Cat.
I love that. Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, she brought the pain as the queen pin.
She was so good.
We didn't like, it's interesting, right? Because it came to us that Andy wanted to do the role, and we were like, oh wow, this is amazing. Like, I can't wait, because obviously we love her work, right? But we'd never seen her do a role like this before. And she was absolutely on our list because we're such big fans of her to start with, but we didn't know if we wanted to, quote unquote, waste our time going to her, because we'd never seen her do anything like this before. And then her agent gave it to her unbeknownst to us, because when you go out to actors, you go out to these agencies, and the agencies start to think of like, okay, who might be great for this? Who can we suggest? She passed it to Andy, who's her client. She read it, loved it, and then came after us and was like, hey, I know you all have never seen me do anything like this before, but like, I can do this. Just ask my kids. Like, I can handle this.
Yeah, she was so good. I didn't expect it coming from her, but she really nailed it.
She really did. She was so great.
There's no doubt who's queen of that roost.
Exactly.
So how do y'all bring out that greatness to make an actor fit that character?
We just get out of the way.
It really is. It really is a lot of like, you know, it starts with discussions, right? You're talking to actors about how you see it, how they see it. But as soon as you decide, like, okay, this actor, for us anyway, as soon as you decide, okay, this actor is the embodiment of this role, or is going to be able to embody this role, you just really get out of the way and let them do their thing. Because I mean, especially people like Orlando and Andy and Scott Hayes and Garrett Dillahunt and Mo McRae, like, these people are so talented, and they have such pedigree and they have such process, that, man, you just really cut them loose. Because, you know, we love when actors bring a lot to the role, and every one of those people in the film, you know, we were lucky enough to work with them.
But you got to make sure you get it right off the top.
Yeah,
that's the most critical part, right? If you get someone that's really hungry, that you can see the character in, then you can give them the reins and they can go, and we can build that together and have a great collaboration. But you got to make sure that appetite's there.
There's discussions along the way, right? I mean, it's like, oh, hey, I want to shave my head, or oh, I'm thinking about growing a beard. Or, I mean, there's a lot of those fun things that you're discussing with them. Or, oh, what if he's wearing this, or she's got this, and those are all fun things, you know. But like, Andy brought that amazing ponytail, and like, just all the like fun. Oh, I want to have a bunch of rings, and I want to have this, and I want to have that. I want just a lot of
the eyeliner.
Yeah, like they building that character from the outside in and changing themselves and morphing into how they feel that character is, and why is really fun.
And look, we'll sit there, and if we feel like a line's been crossed, we'll say, maybe not the headdress, you know, or whatever it might be, you know, like there's just something there that it's like it steps over, we'll let them know. But honestly, like, for us, it's to embrace and just kick around that collaboration.
But it's always a discussion. We've actually been in some situations where in Small Town Crime, Jeremy Ratchford was like, hey, I'm gonna come in looking like this, and we're like, hey, that doesn't really work if he's supposed to like be acting like a cop. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, he doesn't know what he looks like to the public. And after that conversation with him and the way he was playing that role, we were just like, he's right. This is a genius move. Well done. Like,
yeah, exactly. And that's, at that point, it's like sometimes you just have to get out of the way and say, oh yeah, I see that. I see it now.
Right. Well, that's awesome. And like I said, I loved it. I can't wait to talk to people about it.
Awesome.
And thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Appreciate you, Kelly. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.